Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to Pathfinder, Gallowspire Survivors. Another entry into the Vampire Survivors, Bullet Hell, Horde Survival style of genre that's really been taking off as of late. This time themed around Pathfinder, which is actually a pretty darn good RPG series. The question is, can this game hold up to that style? Let's go ahead and play it with one of the three different characters that are available to us. We have the fighter, the rogue, and the wizard, and then you get to choose one companion. I'll go ahead and start off as the fighter, and we'll bring along the wizard. The first seal of Gallowspire was sabotaged by the powerful necromancer Drasmurg. Get little bits of lore here and there. All right, so we're going to start moving our little character around. Now, as you would expect in pretty much all of these survival style of games, as you get close to your enemies, you start taking a few healthy swipes at them, try to kill them, gather up some experience, and level up your character, or equip them with some extra abilities, or in some games, gear. In this case, it seems to be mostly just try to get some sort of passive abilities and make yourself a bit more powerful that way. You can fight some chests kind of like this. This gives you a looting system where you roll a d20, and depending on what you manage to roll, you get, well, some pretty decent loot. In this case, I just leveled up my main attack weapon twice, giving me a fair bit of extra damage and cooldown reduction and so on, plus we got some gold, which is useful for progressing your character in between runs. Okay, cool. Now, one little thing I've observed, I don't actually have proof of this, but that D20 thing, I'm pretty sure it's a lie, because it seems like there is a greater than 50% chance you are going to roll less than a 10. In fact, it's like a 60 or 70% chance. You should have a pretty darn good chance of rolling way higher than I regularly do. That might be just bad luck on my part. I don't know, but I do have some suspicions. Anyway, when you level up after gathering enough experience, you can choose some either upgrades for existing attacks or passives, or new attacks and passives. In this case, I could throw a spinning circular blade that bounces between enemies. I see that as being pretty good. Shield wall, more chance of dropping potions, or some regeneration. I'm going to go ahead and take some extra DPS, because I think at least in the early game, that's kind of the most important thing. You can find potions dropped randomly by some of your enemies, and these can have lots of different effects, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. A higher chance of getting essence from slaying enemies. This would probably let me level up a lot faster. I do think that's going to be worth it since we're picking it up early. Just got a fire breath potion, so I guess we'll just go ahead and burn all of my enemies away. There we go, and we'll just gather up all this stuff off the ground. Now, the cool thing about Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors is the runs do tend to be a little bit faster than in some other types of games, right? So I don't feel like I have to spend 30 minutes going for a run. What you instead do is play for, I think it's something kind of like 15 minutes on average to get to your first boss. Where things go after that first boss, I don't know. One, because there's an embargo and I can't show you. Two, you'll see why it's a bit of a problem later on. So do I want to upgrade my bastard sword, or do I want to go for a spear and shoot a spear at a nearby enemy, or do I want to go for the flail? I'm going to go for a longer range attack, honestly. I feel like that's going to be useful, especially when we do get to the first boss. Having lots of close range damage, I should say, does not work out terribly well for you. Now, you may have noticed we did just take a little bit of damage for letting enemies touch us. That's kind of to be expected, not surprising. The good news is there's a fair bit of potions in this game, including a lot of health potions. So getting your health back is usually not as difficult as it would be in some other games like in the genre. So I don't find it to be that big of a deal. Plus, I mean, you just get something like fast recovery and you're going to be fine. Rerolls, I don't really care about. We could go ahead and launch a Great Axe. This would be my fourth and final attack form if I do this. I think I'm going to skip that and instead go ahead and pick up the passive for the fast recovery. That's a health potion up over there, but I'm honestly fine. I'm already at full health, so we're going to ignore some of that. Movement speed is, of course, still extremely important in this game, like it would be in so many others. That chakra actually worked really well, by the way. You notice if it did hit an enemy, it actually does hit quite a few. Those chests, by the way, you do have to kind of sit there for a long, long while before it's going to open up. So it's kind of just a matter of, like, can you control this zone for a certain amount of time? Another upgrade for my main weapon, that's fine. More damage, faster cooldowns, always good. Never really going to complain about that. There's pretty much always going to be a chest open on the map somewhere. So if you can just kind of look in the bottom left, for example, that's where the next one is. I'm just going to always be moving toward the next one. How do you progress between waves? Answer is you're going to be killing a certain number of enemies. Well, hello, a legendary crossbow. How could I say no? That'll work. That's a lot better. I just saw a boss over here, by the way. Sorry, I just want to go ahead and grab this chest. But yeah, so the way you progress between waves is not surviving a certain amount of time. In the top right, you can see the number of enemies that we have currently slain. Wow, I just rolled a 20. That is the first time I've ever done that. and I've been playing this for a fair bit. I've done many runs. Never, ever rolled a 20. Rolled a 1 several times. Never, ever rolled a 20. Okay. I might get proven a liar simply because I said that it seems like rolling above a 10 in this is less than 50% chance, but we'll find out. Do I have an increased chance of finding chests? No, I'm going to go ahead and grab the movement speed. Let's go ahead and lock that in as one of my 4 passives that I'll be able to upgrade. I just think that's going to be important because dodging is always good in these games. It's going to be especially important when we do get to the final boss. Anyway, the point is, though, because you're destroying a certain number of enemies, and there's pretty much always going to be a chest available on the map, there's something to be said about trying to deliberately not kill too many enemies, and instead just run between chests as aggressively as you can. You should always be moving between them. There's no real advantage to trying to kill as many enemies as quickly as possible, because that's how it would be in Vampire Survivors, where you want to level up as quickly as possible. But here, the chests are effectively the same thing as leveling up, so why not? I'm going to go ahead and get an upgrade for my chakra, possibly. Now, every hero does have a special ability. In the bottom left, you can see the cooldown for all of my abilities over here, but you also have something here, in this case, called Shield Wall, which we actually can upgrade, and I guess as the warrior, I might as well do that. This is going to give me some free block chance and stuff for my character. So if we find ourselves in a situation where I'm probably getting close to death, we should go ahead and just pop that, and that's going to have a cooldown associated with it, but there we go. Hey, look, more potions means more stuff to kill. Oh, cool, that's great. Just killed a boss, by the way. I don't even know if you noticed that little ghoul over there. That's fine. On the right, you'll also notice we have some quests. Now, every time you complete a quest, you randomly generate some more. Completing these gives you experience and gold, which allows you to progress your characters between runs. Obviously helpful. Another big upgrade for your crossbow. Now, the thing is, whenever you see these rarity upgrades, once you've already chosen your attack, like, it doesn't really matter what the rarity was, right? A legendary crossbow is really no better than a common crossbow when it comes to locking it in. All this is a rarity as far as, like, how much does it scale up a particular weapon or passive, as opposed to a common, which might do, like, half this increase of the damage and stuff. So, not that big a deal. Now, we did kill 400 enemies, so in 30 seconds, we're going to be teleported to the next floor, whether I like it or not, which, again, is one of the reasons you probably don't want to be trying to kill your enemies as quickly as you can. You should be trying to drag it out. There's a 6. So we get a tiny bit of gold. But once we've already gathered up all the experience on the floor and we've already gathered up all the chests, there's really not much of a reason to sit around. I mean, we can try to make a beeline for this chest over here. I've got my doubts as to whether we can make it in time, but if we can get there in the next 30 seconds, that would be just one more equipment upgrade before we have to move down to the next floor. So it is worth a go. One more reason, by the way, we did get there. What do you know? One more reason, by the way, that movement speed is king. You just always like having movement speed. It's so good. Anyway, grab one more little upgrade. Hopefully we roll really high on this one. We get a 14 this time. Okay, so we get 3. Essence extraction, more coins, and an upgrade for my main weapon. All right. The main weapon is not that helpful against the boss in this particular run, because the first boss does seem to strongly advantage long-range characters. But, we'll see. Again, if I can get something like a shield wall or, let's say, a lot of dodge chance or armor or something, it might be worthwhile, but I don't know. I just know he does a buttload of damage if you're up close and personal to him. Anyway, there's a chest. Let's go ahead and start moving this direction. Have to kill 500 enemies this time around. That should be completely fine. Nothing to worry about. There's our first chest already, actually. I'll grab you. Now, enemies can drop chests randomly. Sometimes you find, like, really high rarity chance chests, and there's, like, lots of legendary and epic group in the group. Good lord. Lots of epic loot inside. There we go. We rolled a 19 this time, too. I'm definitely being proven a liar, which is interesting. I'm serious when I say that I've played this enough that I'm not trying to mislead you here. I've definitely run into situations where it's like, oh, for God's sake, I've rolled nothing but less than a 10 9 times out of 10 in this entire run. But apparently, the game's just decided that this is the perfect opportunity to show that I have no idea what I'm talking about, in which case, you know what? Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. New enemies are spawning here, by the way. We've got these little cultist acolyte folks. Not really much to worry about right now. There will be some bosses later on who can shoot you from a long range, which is going to be very difficult to dodge, and that'll be fun to deal with, but it's okay. It's okay. For right now, we're just going to continue enjoying all the loot. This time, nothing but common. What do we get this time? We get a 12. Okay. So we get a little bit more over here. Again, same kind of upgrades. Really nothing too exciting. Dropping a fair bit of essence, all these enemies. I mean, that's pretty good. I do like leveling up as fast as possible. Now, in between runs, you will be able to spend, let's say, some gold in order to try and upgrade the kinds of potions you'll be finding throughout the game. So actually, potions become increasingly valuable the more you play. Alternatively, there's going to be such things as getting experience for individual characters. You can give them trait points, which make them more powerful. Not going to worry about that right now, though. Let's go ahead and continue upgrading that movement speed. I really think that's going to end up being super duper important for me, at least eventually. And actually using the terrain here. Oh, there's a boss somewhere. Hang on, where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is, this big green cultist guy right here. We need to take this guy out because he's just going to keep throwing things at us and range attacks like these, which are surprisingly hard to dodge. So yeah, we need to just kill him off as quick as we can. Another Wraith boss over here. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. We should be able to deal with him. We get a Fire Breath potion. Boom, 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 boom. What are you going to give me, a 20? Wow, wow! Okay. See, now that I know your game, now that you apparently know when things are being recorded, I now know how to predict what you're going to do. All right, what do we want this time? I'm going to go ahead and get some upgrades to my shield wall so it has a longer duration and also try to increase the movements or reduce the movement speed penalty and stuff like that. 2 chests just dropped. Well, that's lucky. All right, I'll go ahead and grab both of these. It won't be a 20 this time. It'll be like 13, 12. Nope, 17. Frick me. All right, more upgrades. I love that. This is a magnetism potion, by the way, so it grabs whatever else was on the map that we might have missed up to this point. But honestly, I don't feel like it's very difficult to grab all of your stuff. 19. Good God! I'm actually getting angry now. I'm getting angry that it's just doing this to me. But I'm also not angry because I love having all the extra abilities. So, like, it's a good thing. You know, if you're going to be proven a liar, like, this is the best possible way to go out. But whatever. Anyway, I find that the range for picking up essence and stuff to level up is really not that bad. Like, it's pretty rare that I leave stuff on the ground. Even as a longer range character, it's pretty easy to deal with. But of course, the fighter has that advantage. You're always going to be up close and personal, which means you're going to get all the good stuff. Continue upgrading the movement speed. I think that simply is going to be the top priority for me. It's my best survivability trait at this point is simply dodging and try not to get hit in the first place. We have almost 300 enemies defeated, so we still got a little bit of a ways to go on this particular wave. Notice I'm not feeling all that worried about taking damage, by the way. I know that I'll regenerate fast enough. Potions drop fairly often. Not a big deal, not to mention I can find more potions that boost up my health or whatever else it's going to be. All right, this time 14. Yeah, we're rolling above a 10 a lot now. Okay. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Give me that fire breath. Burn for me, you fools. Burn for me. Now, in this particular version of the game, I do not have the ability to show you past the first boss, so I really have no idea what's going to be coming after that, and whether this game continues to get more intense, how many bosses there are, etc. I can only give you a small snippet as to what this game is like. There are basically 3 levels that we'll go through, and going from like I think it's 400 enemies to 500 to 600 enemies. And then by the time you're done with that, that's when you get to go fight a boss. Now, that said, whenever I've gotten into the boss fight, so far, it appears to have always bugged. I say bugged. It might actually be a fail-safe feature to make sure that we content creators do not go past the embargo, so we literally can't complete the first boss. Maybe. I don't know that that's the case, but we'll see if it actually works out that way again. Where is the chest, by the way? Ah, it's way up over there. All right, hang on. We're not going to step into the teleportation circle. If I can run all the way over here and grab one more bit of gear, I should definitely do that. I don't know that I can, but it is always worth a shot. We got 13 seconds to get to the chest. Can I get to the chest? I don't think so, but we will find out. The good news is the clock does stop when you actually get to the chest. So if I can get there in the next 3 seconds, which is looking unlikely. Yeah, there's walls and stuff in the way. Nope. All right, fine. Fair enough, fair enough. That was as far away as it could possibly be. Anyway, all right, so second seal upon Gallowspire was disabled by another necromancer. Man, there's a lot of necromancers. I think I found the problem in this world of yours. There are too many necromancers. You should be far more discriminatory and purging their form of magic from the world. That's what you should be doing, but no, nobody listens to me. We're all about the tolerance of the different magical arts. Some things don't deserve it, you know what I mean? All right, cool. We'll go ahead and grab this chest over here, blah, blah, blah. New enemies are starting to spawn. They'll be stronger, faster, etc. from here on out. There's a 4. This is a little bit closer to what I've been used to this whole dang time. But all right. Now, we could just actually kind of camp in an area like this and use the terrain to our advantage and try to make these enemies, you know, get stuck on their pathing and stuff and hit them over the walls and stuff like that. Exactly like I'm doing right over here. That said, because, again, we want to be getting those chests as aggressively as we can. Usually not a smart play, so let's not do that. What do we have over here? Something of epic quality. A huge upgrade for my shield wall. I'll take it. Not that I can use my shield wall very often because it'll be so slow that I don't think it's worth it. I haven't used it at all so far, actually. And to be honest, in the 3 characters you can play with, I don't think I almost ever use their abilities. I mean, you probably should, but I find that I almost never do. All right, an Essex extraction, that's great, blah, blah, blah. Now, I think your companion is able to level up as well. So as you gain experience, right, and upgrade your character and have new trait points in between runs, I kind of talked about that earlier, and I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. I'm pretty sure that all the different characters out here that can be your character also retain those talent points. So there's something to be said about playing with a balance of your 3 different character types, so that each of them have the maximum number of traits and special abilities that make them more valuable companions for your other characters. So you don't want to just pick one class and stick with it and do absolutely nothing else. That's probably not the most effective way of playing the game. By the way, there are these little bat things over here that shoot range attacks. This is where the game starts getting a lot more difficult and you start taking a whole load more damage. We're gonna get like a 7 this time. There we go. All right, good. Grab the health potion and just honestly run away. The wizard has the advantage, of course, of doing a lot of AoE types of attacks, but usually a little bit harder to control the direction that the character is going to fire. That is to say, like, not lots of single targets like attacks against the nearest enemy, but more just like, hey, I just threw some random damage on the map. Sure as heck hope that hits the boss when the boss does show his face. And often it doesn't, and then you're like, well, why did I play the wizard again? And the answer is the wizard's pretty good at this stage of the game. Very squishy, but pretty good. Anyway, all right, more loot. Now, one thing I would love to see change in this game is the ability to speed up this loot roll. This loot roll takes a little bit too long, in my opinion. It's a very small thing to complain about. But those few extra seconds are just like, yes, I know, get on with it. It's already predetermined, all right? It's not an actual dice roll. You already did the random number generator. I know you did, because if I watch the animations closely, I could probably figure out which result I'm going to get within the first half second of the roll. Not that I'm going to do that, but you get the idea. So can you just get on with it, please, a little bit faster? Anyway, let's go ahead and boost up that movement speed again. Yes, I know it's not a huge difference, right? We're only increasing our movement speed by like an extra like 1% or less every time we do this. I know that is not very significant. It's fine, though. Still worth it. I'm still not using my shield wall. We could have a long time ago, but like until this exact moment, I wouldn't have gotten a lot of advantage out of that, so I just didn't see the entire point. I do want to be as close to full health before we do finish off our last 500 enemies here as possible, because when we get to the boss, getting healing is going to be a little bit tougher. Getting some regeneration wouldn't be a bad idea either, by the way. If I get the option, I do think I'll go ahead and grab a little bit more regen. But yeah, we're starting to get a little bit swarmed. The good news is we just got some fire breath, which means we just finished these guys off really quick. Let's get the magnetism, get some of these potions. Let's see, we can go for that passive healing a tiny little bit. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that tiny little bit. There is one more chest we can get with any luck. We're going to get a big lucky roll. Now, the chests are more valuable than leveling up is the thing, because there's a chance you're going to get 5 upgrades of the same kinds of stuff that you would get if you had leveled up, with the exception being of these coins. The coins are basically just a waste of your time, but yeah, so anything that gives you a higher drop chance for your chests is often going to be worthwhile. One more chest just spawned down over here. Not sure if I can get to it in time. That said, even if I can't, waiting before I teleport is still in my advantage because I'm actively healing right now. So there's really no good reason to take the teleporter as soon as you can, unless you're already at full health and you know there's no way that you're getting to the next chest in time, which in this case we were really close, but no, we're not going to be able to. All right, time to get to the boss. This is the crypt. We're going to be fighting against the Grave General. Greetings, warrior. I see you are clad in shining steel, much like myself. It's honorable to face certain defeat with pride in one's appearance. Yeah, this guy respects the fighter, but he disdains the rogue and the wizard, like, a lot. My quarrel is Tar-Baphon, not you, giants. Tar-Baphon being, I think, the Lich who is currently running this tower, our ultimate villain, but oh well. General, little warrior. General, do not dishonor the gift of battle with informality. So, this is the big guy that we're fighting. And, okay, he is already obliterating us, and this is why I say that being in close range is stupid, and you should never do it. So, long-range abilities are going to be preferable. Just try to run circles. He'll do a charge, and it's easy enough to dodge the charge with your own character. It's really hard to do it with your companion for some reason. The companion gets hit almost every single time. But if you have enough long-range abilities, you should be able to preserve yourself. So just keep moving, use that movement speed to your advantage, use long-range attacks, stay away from that spinny blade of death that he is so very fond of. And if you cannot, as the fighter at least, go ahead and use that shield wall. He's gonna come charging after me. I'll try to, nope, that didn't work. I was hoping that maybe I could try to, like, shimmy my companion out of the way, but oh well. The good news is my wizard does have a special absorbing bubble, so as long as I keep her unhit long enough, if she keeps getting that bubble, she's not going to die. Now, your companions can die, and if they do, then kind of like with the chest, all you do is just run over to them and then just heal them, and you're good to go. But like, notice how like there's no good reason for me to be staying over here and trying to hit this guy, because the second he pops any sort of a close range ability, I'm going to take so much damage that I'll probably just die. So I can try to do a couple little sniping attacks with my main sword, but it's not worth it. Way safer to just stick at a long freaking distance. Yeah, it makes for a less engaging boss fight here, but oh well. I'm going to try to get him down to half health, because that's when he triggers his next phase. And the phase is actually more challenging than the boss. The boss, this is all just about, like, how cowardly are you, right? How cowardly are you, and how many times do you have to revive your companion? But once he starts bringing in the little guys, like he is right now, it's going to be a problem. Soldiers of the Grave Legion, I call upon your might. Expunge this fiend from my presence. He is going to start spawning a lot. I mean a lot of little guys, so this is where we want to start killing them off. Fun thing, though, they can still drop potions, and you can still level up while fighting them, so it's good. However, they do a lot of damage. This is where, again, having the movement speed is very good, because if you can get them all clustered up into one area, it makes your life way easier, so you don't have to get overwhelmed and swarmed like we are right now. Those are exploding skeletons. Don't like them at all. And crap, I'm actually in a lot of trouble. Hold on. We're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. We're fine. And he keeps dropping potions, so I got nothing to worry about. There we go. Cluster up, you fools. Now we got nothing to worry about. That should be a... Well, I take it back. I was going to say that's all the spawns. It's not all the spawns. There's more, apparently. But it shouldn't be that bad. We're pretty much at full health because they keep dropping all these potions. So, like, as long as you're able to deal with large groups of enemies, you're fine. There's a health potion over there, for example, and I leveled up again. Cool. What do I get? An upgrade for my crossbow. Yeah, sure, why not? Now, the question is, are we bugged? We're going to find out as soon as I've dealt with all these waves, are we, in fact, going to be bugged? Now, what happens for me so far is the boss, it says, is somewhere over here, because I saw the little icon saying, the boss is over here. But you may notice there is no boss. Now, I don't know if that's because the boss is supposed to just sort of like stay invisible for a long time or something, or if the boss is literally gone and never comes back. Let's go ahead and get that movement speed. That's more important. So I'm pretty sure there are no more enemies. Pretty sure. I'll go ahead and get another movement speed boost. We're using up these health potions by walking close to them, which is really unfortunate because I do not want to be wasting these things. I'll continue getting all this health. My character just took a swipe at somebody, which makes me think that the boss is supposed to be somewhere over here. Yeah, see, the character's not going to be swiping if someone's not here. The game said that the boss is down in this direction. Said that. Yeah, now it says it's up over here. So if I go this direction, the boss should be here. And... nope, no idea where he is. But again, my character was swiping at nothing. So it's like the boss is invisible, but not doing anything. So I don't know if maybe I am missing something and I should be interacting with something in the world, but I don't think so. I am pretty sure it's just borked, which does not exactly set the best impression, if I'm completely honest with you. So my character just took a swipe at something, so I think he's supposed to be over here somewhere. That's my guess, but we've survived for 5 minutes and there's no sign of the boss. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just say it's bugged again, and I'm going to go ahead and leave. We're going to go back to the main menu and retreat. Good news is, you do still bring along your progressions. We get a lot of XP to level up my character. We get some gold for upgrades. We killed 1,400 enemies. All right, that's not too bad. And we get to see, you know, how much damage did we do with certain types of weapons? What kind of upgrades did we end up getting? How many enemies did we destroy? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. And we completed a quest. So if I go to the main menu, we should see right now that I have Absorption Postery Mastery, which gets me even more XP, some more money, and an advancement point that I can use for upgrades. If you're going to be taking on a quest, right, you should always be going for quests that have one of these two upgrade symbols on it. Otherwise, don't waste your time with anything else. Just spend some money, re-roll it, and get something that's actually freaking worthwhile. I don't care if I'm spending money on this. There we go. Well worth it. Stay immobile for 60 consecutive seconds. I can do things like that. Now let's take a look at the progression system. So your character, when they do gain some of these special points right here, which happens as they level up, I think at level 1 you have like 6 different types of points that can level up. That'll be with talents and your stat advancement points. Looks like as a level 2 character, there's only 2 more advancements that we can look forward to as we continue to level. You can change your look, by the way, over here. And we can spend these points to try and get some boost to your character. So for example, I'll go ahead and boost the strength of my character. Makes sense, you want these stats. That's taken care of. Then under talents, I've got 1 more point I can spend. Do I want to go for Weapon Legend, a 10% chance of getting the next upgrade in rarity? Or do I want to have 50% of my armor value at all times? Or do I want to have martial weapons, a 20% chance of finishing the cooldown of another martial weapon? So the more of these I have, in theory, I can just be like firing off attacks a lot faster, or better block, or whatever else it's going to be, right? So there's lots of ways you can advance your character. And again, I'm pretty sure that these characters are going to translate those points over as companions as well. So it's still worthwhile in some way to always be doing this and try to drop between the characters as often as you can. I personally think the Rogue and the Wizard are probably my two favorite characters because range matters, but we'll see what happens as the game continues to rebalance. And then in our potions over here, you can spend your money to learn different types of potions. So for example, I haven't learned the Temp HP yet. Let's learn that. Now I can find all of these types of potions in the map, and then if I want to, I can spend more money to upgrade what they're able to do. So for example, a evasion potion we could upgrade, or maybe the speed potion. Let's go ahead and boost up the speed potion, right? We'll spend 1,000 gold so that when we find it, we get even more value out of it, etc., etc. But that's it. Like, when you find gold, it's just for potion upgrades. Not exactly the most engaging way to level up your character. The talents and the stats are obviously what matters a lot more often, but they're way more infrequent, which is why I'm saying for your missions, you should always be going for those points wherever you can. Anyway, so that's a look at Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors. It should be available in early access starting in the next week or so. I believe it was somewhere around mid-September. Could be wrong on that point. I would love to see what happens past the first boss, but since that seems to be bugged, I don't really know what to expect. This game doesn't really feel like it's particularly tied into the Pathfinder lore all that much. It's kind of just like more of an intellectual property thing, not really a reminiscent thing of the actual Pathfinder games, as far as I can remember. So yeah, it's just another one of those Survivor games thrown out there using a hopefully recognizable intellectual property. And is it really going to be adding a lot into the market? And does it really revolutionize this new genre? No, it feels kind of like a cash in on another IP. But does that mean it's not fun? No, it is fun. You just really need to grind out the upgrades for your characters, and that's when you really get to start seeing a lot more build variety and have a lot more enjoyment. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.